And here we go. So the first part of the game is going to be pretty standard, what you've seen so far. Just a couple of shots, killing this guy here, and then making the way to the Pueblo. And there's going to be a little fun in Pueblo, but I imagine both these runners should be able to pull that off no problem. Just going to snipe this bird here and grab this hand grenade. I see no memes today. So we're going to be making our way into the Pueblo now. It's going to be a quick few shots on this first guy here, and then they're going to make their way into the first house, throw a couple of, or throw one precise grenade throw out of the window, group up all the enemies, come back down, and finish out that wave of enemies. And of course, grabbing the shotgun along the way. And that's the village. So now the rest of it, they're going to grab a treasure here off the well, and then they're going to come up on the Indiana Jones segment of the game, and then wrap up 1-1. The rest of Chapter 1-1 is pretty simple. Just grabbing the treasure and movement for the most part. As I was saying earlier, both of these runners are really good. This should be a pretty evenly matched race. Should be fun to watch. And looks like a top tier got the tree skip. That's impressive. It looks like TrichaelMan didn't even try tree skip. So it is really dangerous. It's really risky, and it doesn't save a whole lot of time. But looks like we're pretty synced up now. And this is what I like to see. So these runners are finishing 1-1. This next chapter, Chapter 1-2, Canyon, is can be kind of tricky. These guys like to quick turn on you, and they'll make it pretty hard for you. So. But these runners are going to grab a couple of puzzle pieces for the door here at the end of the canyon and then get out of here. Didn't get trolled by the bridge guys, so that's pretty good. Those guys can be a pain to deal with. Top tier shot the barrel there for a little bit of safety. It's a little slower, but it's safer. You don't have to worry about that guy. Now you'll see some quick menuing from both runners, and we're going to get into this part. Both of these runners are going to try to get this guy. There's a guy on the other side of this door. These runners are going to try to get him to point. They're going to use a little bit of manipulation to try to get him to point. Looks like Trichael got it. Top tier did not. it just makes this a little easier and allows you to it can allow you to get a little further before reloading, but they both still ended up doing the same strat. It's dependent on if that first guy points, and also as long as the dynamite guys don't throw dynamite early. So here's another treasure. These treasures are going to prove useful for a rocket launcher that you will see these runners buy from everyone's favorite character, the merchant. So easy puzzle, up left, up right, whichever. And that's chapter 1-2. Chapter 1-3, they're going to pay really close attention to these guys here and try to move around them without getting hit, and preferably without having to shoot the one guy and knock down the crowd. Chapter 1-3 is famous amongst RE4 runners for Del Lago. We'll talk more about Del Lago when we get there. Both runners are able to get through there without any problems. Back here in the village again, won't be here long, just passing through. And we're going to see the merchant for the first time. Really, we just need to sell some treasures and buy a rocket launcher that we're going to use in just a few minutes.
What are you buying? What are you selling?
Looks like top tier had a little bit of problems there in menuing. That's to be expected. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to get through all that menuing as fast as you'd like. These birds' nests do have grenades in them. Don't ask me why these birds have grenades, but you'll notice that some places in this run that you might not expect, you know, when you played casually, you'll have some useful items, like these birds' nests. Why wouldn't they have grenades? That's a good question. This bird also has a grenade. This is actually a pretty tricky shot. The laser can do some weird things sometimes, and the bird's hit boxes are also kind of weird. So sometimes you'll shoot the wrong bird, and then you'll stand there hunting that bird down for a few seconds. No tree skip here, just run and dodge. More Indiana Jones. Just grenades lying all over the place. So, you shoot a couple of wires, and then that's a golden egg, Trichel. It's really rare to see a golden egg drop there, especially in a run, so that was pretty funny. But we're going to Del Lago now. Shooting some more birds' nests here. These birds are just looters, apparently. So, Del Lago, in essence, is a pretty simple fight. Really, it's just riding on a boat and throwing harpoons. However, Dolago's patterns can change depending on your movement, and that is a really rough a really rough fall for top tier. That's going to set him back a bit. That's really unfortunate. Trichel got a late dive, but that's okay. Late dives are to be expected most of the time. But that's a really rough fall for top tier. And looks like he's going to reset the checkpoint, or he's going to try to. He's stuck. Oh, he's... Oh, top tier. That is really, really unfortunate. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Whenever you're in a QTE sequence, and you try to menu, for some reason the game won't let you switch around your menu controls. So you get stuck in situations where you try to menu while you're in a cutscene sequence, and the game just won't let you. And that's what happened to top tier. He was trying to reset the checkpoint, but he was just stuck in that sequence he couldn't get out of. So he's going to start over Dolago. Hopefully he can knock this one out fast and get back on track. TrichaelMan is going to hit the switch and run past some dudes. And we're going to be seeing our next boss, El Gigante. I know a lot of people meme about, oh, this boss is going to be hard. He's just going to kill him with a rocket. Turns out, if you spend enough money on a rocket, you can pretty much one-hit kill everything, so... Top tier is having a much better Dolago fight this time. It was really unfortunate hitting that log, but sometimes you just try to sneak by just to the left of that log, and sometimes it's just not far enough. Unfortunately, though, it's a really big time loss. Trichel made up a couple of minutes on top tier there. So here's Gigante. Just a quick aim fire, grabbing your money and getting out of here. Trichel's going to run past some dogs. These dogs are always really scary casually. Fortunately, if you don't run directly towards them, typically they won't attack you. For as fast and ferocious they are, their targeting is not very good. So another easy puzzle, 2-3-1, easy peasy. In separate ways, that puzzle is not 2-3-1, and it's really easy to get those confused if you play both categories.
Wait.
I'm not in the tournament because I don't play New Game Pro. I am a New Game Plus runner. I know a lot about New Game Pro, but I just don't play it. So yeah, actually he's going to tell Trichel to shoot some barrels. Trichel's not going to do that. He's just going to run past everybody. Top tier is going to come up on his El Gigante fight. Very noteworthy boss fight. So Trichel's coming in to he's gonna come up on Dark Farm here in just a minute, and Dark Farm is pretty deceptive. When you see runners do it, it looks... Oh, okay. When you see runners do Dark Farm, it looks really easy, but there's a lot involved. Some manipulation involved. You also want to try to not run into those bear traps. And there are a lot of them.
Wait, follow me.
So it looks like he's not having any problems here. Ashley shouldn't get stopped here. And as long as you see that yellow circle, you're good. If you see red, you're bad.
Wait, follow me. Wait, follow me. Wait, follow me. Wait, follow me.
So there's a merchant. See you later, merchant. Okay, so here's the cabin. Here's one of the first equalizer of the run. Well, other than Delago, but the first RNG, real RNG equalizer. Basically, you want to keep Lewis from shooting these guys. You want to get these guys grouped up as much as possible, so that you can grenade as many of them at once. These enemies have 3 spawn points outside. They'll all pretty much spawn from the same area, which is typically why they come from those same 3 windows. So yeah, you know, if you just keep slashing Lewis, get these guys inside, and kill as many of them as possible. And that's going to be the first section of cabin. Second section of cabin, you're going to grab the shotgun, stand on the stairs, and shoot the guys as they come up. Top tier are going to go into Dark Farm now. He's making up a little time now from Trichel having to restart that checkpoint. But Trichel's having a really good cabin so far. And top tier, the salad lady got a little close there, but top tier realized that he stepped back and waited for Ashley. So yeah, these are stair strats. Trichel had a really clean cabin, so he's out of there, and we're on to a Gigante. Number 2, or unless we go to left path. Trust me, you don't want to go to left path. One of the runners in the community has always dreamed of left path being a viable route in this game, but it'll never happen. So yeah, here on Gigante 2, just grabbing some stuff and running, slashing some chains. You'll notice when these runners come up on doors, typically they will open the inventory and go into key items to open the door. It's faster to do that than to press A and then wait for the inventory screen, wait for the key item screen to load.
Wait.
So here, the gondola is just an auto scroller. I'm just riding down for a minute, and on New Game Pro, these guys are just going to shoot all of the ganados, and they're also going to waste some ammo. And there's no secret, real, secret behind wasting this ammo. It's just to get ammo boxes out of your inventory.
Follow me.
These runners are going to be selling this TMP as soon as they get into Chapter 3-1. Or not selling the TMP, buying the TMP, selling the handgun to buy the TMP. So while they're selling everything, you don't want to have to go through ammo boxes to get out of your inventory. So you waste that ammo there, reload a couple times. You don't have to worry about those boxes. Here's the big cheese fight. It's one of my favorite boss fights. New game runners have this down pretty good. I'm not good at it, but it's really just you're going to throw a few incendiary grenades, and the last one you throw is going to hit Mendez and a red barrel simultaneously and do like double damage pretty much. And that's going to be enough for him. Treichel's, he got the slow Mendez pattern. That's okay.
Follow me.
Are you okay, Leon?
Follow me.
Sometimes Mendez will swing up really fast towards that barrel. Sometimes he'll hang out and do whatever he does. There was a problem with the timer. What I assume, most of these runners are used to running the auto splitter, so you don't have to worry about manually starting the timer. However, in the race, in RTA, you would typically be responsible for starting your timer. And I imagine they just forgot.
Wait.
So, as Top Tier is doing his Mendez fight, Trichel is finishing Chapter 2-3, making his way to the castle. The castle is interesting. There's a lot going on, a lot of crazy stuff. It'll really pick up by around Chapter 4-1. You'll start seeing the crazies. So Trichel is going to go through and sell a bunch of stuff. So we can buy a rifle and a TMP. And a rocket launcher. So here you're going to see Trichel snipe a guy. This guy up top really wants to fire a flaming catapult at Leon. So if you snipe that guy, then you don't have to worry about that.
Wait. Follow me.
You see these other guys are really aggro, and they really want to blast Leon with these things. But sniping that guy makes this room actually doable on New Game. So that's pretty much everyone's favorite strat in the game, is letting Ashley get grabbed and taken away. Fortunately here, you don't have to worry about it. After you shoot that cannon, every enemy here despawns for some reason.
Wait.
Here you're just going to see a simple little reset, enter, exit and enter reset. Just keep another wave of enemies from spawning. Otherwise, this room also isn't fun. Top tier is going to do his merchant menuing. Trichael's going into key room. Key room can cause a lot of problems. Fortunately, there's a barrel right inside the door there. That can pretty much take all these enemies out. You don't have to really worry about too many guys getting in your way. Sometimes these guys behind the door here, they'll kind of gang up. But you just do what Trichael just did. Just kick a guy, get him out of the way. So I'm going to talk about the rifle real quick. The semi-auto rifle is OP. You can pretty much one-shot every normal enemy in the game, and it also some of the mini bosses and stuff, like you can take care of those pretty easily. You'll see that right here on this Garrador. The Garrador has a Plaga on its back. That Plaga takes a lot of damage from the semi-auto. This is another one of my favorite strats in the game. Just how fast and smooth that Garrador kill looks.
Follow me. Wait.
Oh. So, Trichael recovered from that very well. If you leave Ashley in a certain spot and do a wait, follow me, typically you can run right through those guys and you can get Ashley through there. That guy was going right towards Ashley, but fortunately Trichael recognized what was going on and took care of everything. That was a really good save. Because you can have a lot of problems there. Those dynamite guys can cause a lot of problems for you. Fortunately, he was able to stun the guy and get rid of the dynamite. So here's the infamous water hall. There are a lot of guys in this room. A lot of them are really aggro. And really, you just need to get Ashley through, get her on the crank, and then just keep everybody away. There are a couple ways you do that. You stun them with the TMP. That'll slow them down. Usually at least enough to use that incendiary. And then at this point, you pretty much just wait for Ashley to get done cranking. This is the Steam version. They're playing on 60 frames per second, which is the fastest way to play this game. So that checkpoint reset there by Trichael is just an enemy despawn. Gets rid of those enemies that just ran down behind you, behind the stairs or down the stairs.
Watch out for me.
It's a lot easier to reset than try to deal with those guys. And you see the semi-auto putting in work here. Basically, headshotting all of these enemies. One-shot headshots. So now that Trichael has those guys killed, he can do some item farming in the area. Grab a couple things he couldn't grab before. And top tier is playing really well. He's making up time. Yeah, when you're doing all this stuff, you got to remember Running Man. Usain Bolt up top. But top tier looks like he's already starting out with a good water haul. And like I was saying before, you stun these guys. Oh, and he's got a right side guy. It shouldn't be a problem. You got to watch out for right side guy. He'll sneak up on you. Oh, got stunned by the fire there. It's not bad. Just slows him down a little bit. Top tier is in Waterhall 2 now. Trichel is exiting Waterhall. And 3-1 into 3-2 is a bit of a gauntlet. Because you've got first layer of hell, which is the first encounter with Novicidors. And then a couple of other hard rooms in 3-2. So these bugs, this is the first introduction to them. All these bugs are on the ground. Later on in your second and third encounters, these bugs are flying. And they're quite aggressive and annoying to deal with. But typically first layer doesn't give people a lot of problems. There are only a handful of Novicidors here. And since they're on the ground, you can usually camera trick your way around them. If you point the camera in the away from the Novicidors, like you saw Trichel doing, it'll lower their accuracy when they swipe at you. And top tier had a really tasty water haul, so top tier will be out of here, and he'll be in 3-2 himself soon. So if you flash all those guys in the circle before you get too close, they'll never take off. There's a little cutscene there. If you get too close to the edge, they'll actually see you even after you throw the flash. So. So you're going to stop this red guy. This red guy is going to take off really fast. He's trying to get to a Gatling gun in the center of the room. However, if you can headshot him a couple times real quick, you can get him down. You don't have to worry about dealing with the Gatling gun. And that guy came way up top. So here's the hardest puzzle in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the goat room. The goat room can cause you some problems. It's one of those rooms that you know, typically goes pretty well, but if it does go bad, it can be a real pain. You got guys with rockets, guys with sights. You got to get through all of those guys. Trichel equipping his rocket for running speed. Make sure to give these runners a follow. TrichaelMan and Top Tier Waifu are both really good runners. Neither have been running for very long, but both runners were able to pick up the game really quickly and get really good times. So definitely give these runners a follow and watch them suffer through this game. So TrichaelMan's running through the maze. It's another intimidating part. The dogs can be really intimidating casually, but Trichael knows all the tricks. Just don't look at him. Don't run directly into him. Typically, don't have a problem. So Trichael's done with 3-2. Now the shortest chapter of the game, chapter 3-3. It's only a couple of rooms. This neat little wine glass trick here. If you shoot the wine glass, or if you shoot the bell, you can shoot the wine glass without running up and manually hitting the bell. So that's a pretty neat little trick. We had some sync loadings there. That was nice. So you see top tier got the extra enemy spawn, the extra wave. If you kill too many people in this room, you'll spawn another wave. So, chapter 3-4 is a pretty straightforward chapter. After you get past this first part, you gotta shoot a couple guys down on the bottom. After you shoot these guys, that guy's a pain to headshot. After you shoot these guys, Ashley will run over to the door, find out she needs a key for it. There's a precise grenade throw you throw down and kill the wave that spawns at the bottom.
The door's locked. I can't open it.
We'll see if you got everyone.
I got the key. I can get
And Ashley got the key. That's what you want to hear. Now for Trichael, he's just going to run through, past some enemies, turn some cranks, and do another really hard puzzle. Top tier, not having a hard time with the dogs in the maze. So he's about to start chapter 3-3. And you're pretty much going to see more of the same that you saw Trichael do. It's a pretty straightforward route here. Most runners are going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to shoot the wine bottle, not wine glass. So yeah, you see how boring this Ashley section is. And not gonna lie, casually, this slide puzzle was really hard for me. But as you can see, as Trichael does that really cleanly. It's a really simple puzzle. Now it's just a matter of dodging a couple of QTEs and getting out of here. Yeah, then we can start the real fun. The really long and boring Chapter 4.1. Rusty, you can run this any way you want. Easy, normal, professional, new game plus, however you want to run it. So Chapter 4.1 has a lot going on in it. There's a volcano, some dragons falling from the ceiling, some guys living in walls on giant bulldozers, more bugs, clock towers. Pretty much any kind of crazy stuff you can imagine being in a video game is in Chapter 4.1. So while you've got all this crazy stuff going on, it's still not a fun chapter. It's still really boring. A lot of small rooms where you're just running from point A to point B. To answer your question about categories and systems, if you look on speedrun.com, you can see how they're separated. Right now, they're separated by SD, HD, and PC, because that's an easy way to compare the versions. And then there are drop downs for difficulty and everything. So pretty much any way you want to run the game. You're pretty much covered. That being said, we are having this tournament on professional mode in the new game category. It is undoubtedly the most popular category of the game over the past few years. It's the most active and has the most runners, most active runners. So this is New Game Professional. There's a whole lot of nothing going on right now, so I want to take this time to thank Speed Gaming for allowing us to put on this tournament. You guys are really awesome. So thank you guys. Make sure you follow Speed Gaming. They have 6 channels: Speed Gaming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there is always something going on. There's always something going on a Speed Gaming channel.
Wait.
So here's a neat little thing. You shoot these lights before you go into the room. You don't have to sit through an extra cutscene of the lights coming down. So that part's really simple. Just take out those guys. You don't have to worry about it. They take 1 shot each. They're really weak guys. Now, this room, the next couple of rooms are pretty tricky rooms. The Armadourus room.
Wait.
These guys can be trolls sometimes and just not accept the headshot. Essentially, you've got 2 waves of Armadourus, 3 each. You want to hit each of them with a headshot, and then throw 1 flash grenade per cycle, and that'll get rid of these guys. Muda, those are questions better left unanswered. Oh. Okay, that was really close, but Trach pulled it off. It was a good save. And I haven't pointed out yet, but top tier is N51. He finished up his volcano room. And he's going to be doing much of the same thing you've already seen Trichel do. Trichel doing some sneaky strats there. Just running the other direction, getting those guys out of the way. 5-4-1. My apologies. Okay, so here's second layer. Second layer is pretty tricky. You want to stun as many of these guys as you can with these 2 flash grenades. And shoot down these 2 chains. Now, unfortunately, this... And you see the product of second layer. This is going to be really... not... Okay, alright. So Trichel got out. Novicidors are no fun. They can gang up on you. They can slash you, kick you, spit on you. All of it hurts. The problem is once one of them hits you, it gives the others enough time to swarm. And once they swarm up on you, there's no easy way to get away from them. So that was good on Trichel to get out of there with minimal damage. So the clock tower is pretty easy to get to the top. Not so fun to get back to the bottom. It's full of archers on the way back down, and these archers are absolutely brutal. They are expert snipers. Top tier had a good first wave Armaduros. And here you see the archers putting in work. That was a perfectly placed unicorn shot. Top tier had a really clean Armaduros room. Oh, that guy. He really wanted to see Trichel. So Trichel's going to be coming up on a pretty fun bridge. Full of enemies. Shield guys, you want to bait these shield guys, get past them, get past all the other guys without getting hit and shot with a rocket. Oof, okay, and he just made it. So here you've got Dos Garrador room. Rocket and a sniper shot takes care of that. Grab their money, get out of there. So here's my favorite part of the run. This merchant is going to have a very important shotgun. These runners are going to be able to buy the striker and finally be able to go fast in a speed run. So if you don't know, I imagine most of you do know. The striker is going to allow these runners to perform the Dipman glitch, which will allow Leon to run much faster than he's supposed to. This is good for many things. It allows you to do some out-of-bounds glitches that you normally wouldn't be able to. It also allows you to literally speedrun. Top tier got memed by the catapult there. That is unfortunate, but at least he didn't die. So that's one good thing he's got going for him right now. So let's see if Trichael does the Verdugo skips. Oh, he tried it. These Verdugo QTs have a very tight window. You can squeeze past them. You gotta do a little trickery, but it is possible. Unfortunately, he did get hit by that first one, but got a good second QT, so he was able to run right past it. Top tier getting memed on in Clock Tower. And you saw how tough of a boss Verdugo was. When you have a rocket and a giant nitrogen tank, it's you know, it's not too hard. Oh, so top tier got grabbed. At least he got grabbed from behind, so he didn't take any damage, and he also had iframe, so that first guy didn't slash him with the scythe. So Trichael's in chapter 4.2 now. 4.2 is another pretty fun chapter. It's a short chapter, but it does have the third layer, which can often cause more problems than not. It's the third and final encounter with Novisadors. However, there are a lot of them, and you're in a really tight. You're in a bunch of really tight areas. So we'll see how he fares there. Top tier is about to buy his striker. So now we can see top tier go fast. And Trichael, third try on that grenade. That's pretty impressive. So Trichael's going to do an out of bounds with the striker glitch. You can zip line. You can take this zip line down. You're running a lot faster than the zip line, so for some reason it just takes you right out of bounds. And you don't even have to see the Dos Gigantes. So here we are. Third layer of hell. Third layer, Novice 3, whatever you want to call it. It's not a fun room. When things start going wrong, they really, really, really go wrong. It's one of the rooms it's really hard to recover from when things start going poorly. Top tier got blasted by Verdugo. That's unfortunate. But he didn't get the... Oh, okay. He got the late QT, but that's okay. So it looks like no problems yet. Sometimes you'll get one of these leftover guys here on the bridge that'll try to meme you really hard, but Trichael had a really clean third layer. That's fortunate for him because taking much time lost there would have allowed top tier to make up a lot of time. It really is a room that's really easy to lose a lot of time in. And top tier starting chapter 4.2 now. Skipping the first aid. So chapter 4.3 is used to be another really boring chapter that people didn't look forward to because the minecart ride was just really long and boring. And since the minecart skip, it's not as bad of a chapter. You can knock out about 100. Wow, you can knock out about a minute and 45 seconds that you would have spent riding the minecart. So after these next couple of rooms, Trichael will be doing the minecart skip. Tricho's been playing really well. It's been hard for top tier to make up too much time. But top tier, obviously, there's still plenty of speed run left for top tier to make up more time on Trichel. TrichaelMan is in the lead currently. Top tier had some misfortunes early on in the game that allowed Trichel to take the lead, and he's held on to it. He's played really well. So here's the minecart skip. There's a precise spot that you can jump down in. As soon as you jump down, turn up and left, and you'll fall right through the bottom texture of the minecart. Unfortunately, you do have to run down the minecart quite a bit of ways, but it's still much faster than riding the minecart. This saves around 1:45. That just goes to show how long the minecart ride actually is. Top tier is in quite a predicament here. Oh no. This is really bad for top tier because these guys are swarming on him now, and this is last heal. So he really has to get out of here without taking any more damage. And that is a big F for top tier. That is really unfortunate. But that's what happens when these Novisadors swarm you in those caves. It's nearly impossible to get through them, especially on 60 FPS. But they will grab you and kick you and just combo you. That's really unfortunate. And that allows a Trichel to gain even more time on top tier. And unfortunately, he's going to have to reset again. So top tier is just having a lot of really bad luck with Novisadors. TrichaelMan is playing really well. I don't know what he got hit by just there, but he had to heal. But getting hit and having to heal once is better than restarting the entire room. So. So here's the Salazar statue. Just press some buttons, run, do some quick times. So top tier finally out of third layer. Fortunately for him, no more Novisadors for the rest of this run. Alright, so Trichel's going to be coming up on the elevator here in just a minute. The elevator requires a pretty specific setup to knock these guys off of the elevator as soon as they land. When you get more than one enemy on this elevator, the elevator will stop. So you need to get these enemies off as fast as possible. The best way to do that is to align yourself so as you can just shoot them off the sides with the striker. And you'll see him set up for it here. And you'll see him shoot those guys off the sides. Now, as long as it goes smoothly, this elevator ride is pretty quick and painless. If guys start getting knocked on, then you know, things start slowing down and becomes a bit of a pain. But pretty good so far. He's got a good setup for this. Unfortunately, that guy decided to stay on for a ride. At this point, it would take some mistakes on Trichael's side for top tier to make up enough time. So the Salazar boss fight is going to be the last section of the castle. It's going to require a couple of striker shots to the eyeball. That's going to open up the actual Salazar stage of the fight, and that's as simple as shooting him with a rocket. So as you can see, pretty easy peasy fight. Unfortunately, you can't skip this really long cutscene. But you can take his money, which will prove really useful for buying more rockets later. Top tier is running down the minecart. Not a whole lot to see on both sides right now, so please take the time to follow these runners. Both runners are really good runners. Top tier has had some unfortunate things take place in this run that set him back, but he is a really good runner, so please follow these runners. So TrichaelMan is on my favorite chapter of the game, Chapter 5.1. It's a really technical chapter as far as movement is concerned. There's not a lot going on in terms of excitement, but it's a really movement-heavy chapter, really execution-heavy chapter. But it's a really good introduction to Chapter 5 as a whole. A lot of enemies, new enemies. Oh, top tier had to reset the Salazar statue room. Yeah, top tier is going to lose more time from that. I didn't see exactly what happened. I was looking at Trichael's screen, seeing how his mirror puzzle was going. The statue room is a room that people sleep on. It's another deceiving room. It's another room when things start going poorly. It essentially creates a snowball effect. Things just keep getting worse. So that's Burning Man. He's my favorite guy in the whole game. Unfortunately, he's only seen really briefly. So Trichael's on garage door. Garage door skip. Pretty easy. As long as you have Ditman activated, you can do a little bit of trickery and get past those two waves of enemies that'll keep that door closed. Top tier is setting up his elevator ride. We'll see how his setup is. See if he also has a clean elevator. Unfortunately for top tier, he had some really big misfortunes early in the game, and then recently in third layer. So it really set him back quite a bit. That's also a really unfortunate. Oh, yeah, these guys are just flying in the wrong direction. This is not a good situation for top tier to be in. But he should be able to recover from this. He's definitely going to have to heal. He's going to have to reload. But this is an unfortunate elevator for top tier. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Once you get one guy who decides he doesn't want to fall off, this kind of happens. So coming up here is the only Iron Maiden / Regenerator in the run that we kill. It holds a keycard that we need to progress. But fortunately, he takes that rocket like a champ and gives us that keycard. So TrichaelMan is saving Ashley from her prison cell, and he's going to be escorting her through some more madness. Going to be running through a bunch of dudes. Going to be jumping down into a garbage disposal. But really clean first room. Really clean second room. That was really good on TrichaelMan. TrichaelMan's playing extremely well this run. As for top tier just finished up Salazar, and he's gonna start chapter 5-1. Doing a little bit of wait, follow me strats here. That'll move that Iron Maiden out a little bit so you can flash him and sneak past him. And here you see TrichaelMan has nothing equipped. He's going to perform the Wrecking Ballroom glitch. Or the Koro glitch, I believe some people call it. There are many names for it, but basically what's going to happen is Ashley's just going to stand up top there, and the enemies just will not notice her. I'm not sure how or why this works, but they just stand there and just have no idea that she is there. Until they see Leon again. Now this guy is really aggro today, but that's no problem. Just a little bit of juking. So more regenerators, they're not a problem. Just kind of sneak on past them. And Trichael is going to be getting on the truck here in just a moment. The truck is another long auto-scroller. However, it's a dangerous auto-scroller. There are a lot of enemies jumping on this truck, and it can really be a problem if you start getting plagas. So top tier is about to see my old dude, Oven Man. Top tier, pretty simple garage door skip. Trichael taking care of these guys on the truck so far. Usually the first part of the truck isn't bad. Typically, just when you get to the end and you got to shoot trucks, you got guys coming on and you get plagas. That's when truck gets really dangerous. So the truck does resurrect, but again, it's really easy to to knock him off. It looked like Trichael was setting up for the cutscene skip there, but I didn't quite get it. If you pick up any item on the truck within 3 frames of that cutscene, it'll skip. It'll skip that cutscene of the guys flipping that light or flipping that switch. Sorry, you still have to go up and hit the switch manually. Trichael with a really smooth, truck room here, switch room. That was really nice. Trichael is playing like a man on a mission today. So it looks like top tier is having a little bit of fun. Obviously, I imagine he's extremely frustrated right now, but his 5-1 has been pretty nice so far. So yeah, coming up right here is when the truck usually starts getting a little scary. Once you go beyond this door up here, you're going to have to shoot a truck down. Now, if you've got to worry about plagas while you're trying to shoot this truck, you can have a really, really hard time. And these plagas can do a lot of damage. It looks like he's going to be okay. But that last plaga didn't want to go away.
Welcome. What are you buying? Come back, Eddie.
So obviously you need more rocket launchers. Uh, 5.3 is another long chapter. There's not a lot going on. Unfortunately, there's a long cutscene sequence, the Krauser knife fight. You have to sit through it and mash a lot of QTEs, but you know, after a couple minutes you'll be done. It's not hard, just a little tedious. And then you've got a boss rush. The U3 cage, the U3 fight, and then the Krauser fight. So 5-3 is basically just a 10-minute boss rush. Looks like top tier executed the Ashley glitch.
Been a long time, comrade. Krauser. I died in a crash 2 years ago. Is that what they told you? You're the one who kidnapped Ashley. You catch on quick, as expected. After all, you and I both know where we come from. What do you want? The sample Sadler developed, that's all. Leave Ashley out of this! Oh, I needed her to buy Sadler's trust in me. Like you, I'm American. You got her involved just for that? All for Umbrella's sake. Umbrella? Almost let it slip. Enough talk. Die, comrade.
Okay, now that that's over, I can talk again. I wanted to make sure everyone could hear the cutscene.
Oh, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress.
Looks like we
Basically, a lot of stuff going on between Leon and Krauser. Top tier is on the truck.
You may be able to prolong your life, but it's not like you can escape your inevitable death, is it?
So hopefully he doesn't get memed by any plagas at the end of truck, and won't lose any more time.
knew each other?
More or less. Maybe it's.
And I think these runners used a normal costume
Maybe sometime.
for the accuracy of this cutscene. You need Ada in that red dress. Alright, so pretty much for Trichel, after the laser room, the Resident Evil movie series laser room, he's going to have 2 encounters with U3, 1 encounter in a group of cages. It consists of 3 cages. Your goal is to get through them, hit a couple of switches without getting grabbed. And then he'll make his way out of there. Now, it's a really dangerous area. These cages are not fun at all, and U3 is he outputs a lot of damage. So, getting caught in one of his attacks is pretty much a reset. So you see more of the things here that the TMP is good for. Really good for getting off these quick shots. You know, it was apparent in a lot of places earlier. Looks like Trichael was having a hard time with his menuing, but U3 stayed on the ground. So typically U3 will be on the ground there, and that's where you want him. A little bit of trickery there, throwing the grenade through the door. And now the real U3 fight. Again, it's pretty easy. I don't think it's really easy with a rocket launcher. So top tier has a plaga at the end of truck too, so hopefully this won't be a problem for him. It looks like it won't be. The plaga is, yeah, the plaga's far enough away. It won't be a problem. So TrichaelMan is just a couple of little areas away from the Krauser fight. The Krauser fight's pretty fun. It's really nice to watch. There's a really precise knife strat for Krauser. It looks really scary and dangerous, but both of these runners are really good at it. So, also buying the Killer 7. Killer 7 is a very powerful Magnum. And that'll pretty much, one-shot the rest of the enemies. Normal enemies, anyway. I don't know if Trichael does Ditman Knife. I don't see many people do Ditman Knife. Now, the interesting thing about Krauser there is Krauser has one of 3 attacks he'll give you. He has a TMP pattern that he just did. He has a grenade pattern. He has a dart pattern. The TMP pattern is actually really easy. You could just run straight past it, and he'll never hit you. Now, the dart pattern is really dangerous because it'll one-shot kill Leon. And the grenade pattern is ideal. This has been a really smooth 5-3 so far for Trichael. We'll see if he gets a good statue push. Leon phases through this statue, and he did. He got a perfect statue. So you can push it in such a way that you can push it just far enough and clip through the other side where it'll be lined up perfectly, and you can do a 2-push statue. If you push it too far, or not far enough, then obviously you'll have to make some corrections. But that was a really nice statue. So here, Trichael, he's going to bait Krauser and then run around him. And that'll set up Krauser perfectly in the corner for Trichael to trap him there and just knife him until he dies. And looks like he is doing Ditman Knife. You got to be careful with Ditman Knife. It's really fast, but it's really dangerous. Krauser's shield has a big hitbox, and if you hit his shield and he has enough time to recover, he's definitely going to attack you, and it's it's not going to be fun. But that was a really clean Krauser fight. He got a couple of hits on the shield, but that was okay. He was able to recover, reposition. So here's 5-4. This is the last big equalizer in the run. Uh, 5-4 is made up of a couple of parts. The 2 big parts are War Room 1 and War Room 2. This is War Room 1. And he just took a lot of damage from something. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what he got hit by, but he may have gotten hit by JJ. I'm not sure, but he was able to get back through. Now the turret room. The turret room's where the real fun starts. A lot of execution is involved here, but a lot of RNG is involved. So wow, Trichael just doesn't care today. Usually you bait out that shield guy, but Trichael's, he said forget that. Just ran right through him. So Trichael's having a really good turret room, and no Mike. We'll see what Mike's going to give him. Mike is blowing up the wrong side, so unfortunately Trichael's not getting a good Mike. And Trichael got grabbed. But altogether, it's a really good turret room. Only had one little problem there, getting grabbed by the guy at the end. And then in the first room, just had where he took damage and had to heal. So the only thing standing between him and the end right now is War Room 2, which is also an extremely RNG dependent room. And then his final fight with Sadler. Unfortunately, I saw top tier miss the rocket, the Ricky rocket on U3, but reset, did it again. It's the beautiful thing about checkpoints. So here's another room with a lot of dudes in it. All these dudes are really aggro. There are a lot of archers, a lot of stun rods. Not great RNG so far. We'll see how the up the ladder looks. Oh, and it looks like a typical room up here. Usually there are a couple of guys, especially that archer, and that archer is another master sniper. But Trichael got out pretty cleanly. And now Trichael pretty much just has to finish up. He's got a Sadler fight, pretty straightforward fight, and then the famous jet ski. Let's get out of here. So top tier is doing his Krauser fight. So you see Trichael, a couple of shots with the Magnum, shot with a rocket. That'll bring his HP low enough for Ada to throw out this special red rocket. The special red rocket one-shots Sadler without even hitting him. It's pretty incredible. You don't even have to aim it at him. Oh, top tier just did miss the perfect statues. He's going to have to do a couple of extra pushes. And looks like we are going to get jet ski glitch. I wouldn't expect anything different. So as Trichel finishes up here, let's get some GGs in the chat for Trichel. He played extremely well this race. So we will wait for. Oh, that's a rough death for top tier, but at least the checkpoint isn't far away. So we'll get some GGs for Trichel. See what his IGT is. 1:31:33. That's a very respectable time for a race. As a matter of fact, is only less than a minute and a half off PB. So it's a really nice time for a race. So top tier, starting his 5-4 now. So we're going to see how his 5-4 is. Taking a little safety strat, shooting that archer, getting him out of there. But didn't get memed on by the other archer, so that's good. And we'll see in just a moment if Trichel wants to join us for a interview. So top tier, actually having a really nice 5-4 right now. So far, no big problems yet. And I am joined by TrichaelMan. GG, dude. That was a really good run.
Yeah, I actually golded 5-3, which was interesting.
Well, it looked like I noticed, I guess, around chapter 5-1, it looked like you were playing like a man on a mission, and I said that at some point. Your execution just seemed to be really smooth and you know, really consistent, and you also got a lot of good RNG helped you too. But you were playing really well. So
yeah, I think I'm my because I practiced that when I like started running the game, so I could finish runs. I mean, overall, I think I don't know. I'm surprised I golded 5-3 still, because there's that one point where I did min like 3 times because I missed something in the U3 cage.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that you were stuck in your inventory for like 3 3 Ditmans or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Top tier was having a really good 5-4, and he just died after jumping down from the second switch. So it's really unfortunate.
Oh dang.
He got a mace guy.
Then, right?
Yeah, he's doing the turret room again.
Turret room.
Unfortunately, he died trying to get out of the turret room. So.
Dang. But, I mean, we were talking about it, and then he told me that he missed Logo. He got hit on the log, and then that was very unfortunate.
Yeah, for top tier, you know, he had some sections of the game that were you know, really nice, and he was gaining time on you after his you know, misfortune with Delago. But then after that, by the time he got into 4-2, I think he had to reset. He died on Novice 3.
Yeah.
And he had to so he had to restart there. And after that, it seemed like it kind of just created a snowball effect for him, where
I think he got the short end of the stick on some RNG patterns as well, because my Novice 2 was very clean, like, coming out.
Yeah, all of your Novi rooms were nice. I think you got hit in the first room.
Yeah, the second room I got hit while I was shooting the locks, even though I thought my flash grenades were really good. So like the flying ones just have random RNG.
Yeah. Top tier just gave us a salute to Mike by shooting a rocket. So
yeah,
he shot his rocket and then reset. So I know he's just having fun now.
Yeah, we actually didn't plan any mean things at all, because I know Frenchie and I, we were planning to sit on the throne, but then Top Tier and I, we didn't plan on anything.
Well, I know interestingly enough, both of you were wearing normal costume.
Yeah, I'm not used to picking normal costumes, so, and then my early game is really weak too, so like he definitely pulled ahead of me by at least like 3 seconds there.
Yeah, after his Delago, it looked like he was making up time. He was playing really well, but you were also playing well. So then when things started going bad for him, you were already just playing really well. So it didn't do him any favors that you were playing so well, you know.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of experience in dealing with like bad RNG as well. That's a big factor about it.
Yeah, I noticed a couple places where it looked like things weren't going to go very well, but you were able to recover.
Yeah, like I think the main one was the in 3-1 where you have to retrieve Ashley after the Gyarados, and then I did that.
Yeah.
Follow me, wait a little bit too late, so the mace guy aggroed me. But
yeah, that was definitely one of them, and I know I pointed out, and some of the people in the chat pointed out how nice of a save that was.
Yeah, it's something that that you do quite a bit when you're learning it, but then you just never hope you have to do it. But with enough experience, like you'll know you'll recognize it instantly, that that you know what you have to do in the moment.
Top tier jumped down to leave the second war room, and there were so many people down on the bottom that he he ran around like he took like a different path to get out. That was pretty neat.
Wow. He should be finishing up by now then.
Yeah, he's about to go into a final chapter. He's
okay, he got out.
Running past the big goons now, so.
Oh man.
And then
I don't know, it was fun, because I know like he had a pretty good race with Mandals too.
So you were less than a minute and a half off your PB, which is really good for a race, honestly.
Yeah.
You had a 131.
Yeah,
131,
33 or 34, I think.
Yeah, that's a really nice time for a race.
Yeah, it's really solid, like especially with no resets and doing like a lot of backup strats.
Yeah.
But, yeah, let's see. He should be finishing up Sadler by now.
Yeah, he's shooting the money pile right now. He's definitely getting out his frustrations.
I don't know. He and I had a chill time. He and I were both practicing No Merchant Pro last night, and then we didn't even practice for New Game Pro until probably like 30 minutes before like this race.
Yeah, I saw that you guys were doing that.
It's a hard run. Like I don't know if I want to. I mean, I do want to do it, but once you get into Chapter 4 on No Merchant, you get the skill to sky, or like I guess the skill and like the mental fortitude you need to skyrockets. And then I'm thinking about just breaking in this new controller still, because I still veer off to the right a bit on this new X-Bone controller I just got.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you know, like especially in the village, at some points, like I would walk straight and I would just wander off to the right because I'm not used to this controller. But I don't know. Top tier just he PB by a minute like 2 days ago, I believe. So like it's a huge PB for him.
Yeah. Well, you know, unfortunately, he had a lot of things that happened to him. Otherwise, this race would have been, you know, a lot closer than it was. So.
Yeah.
And Top Tier is with us now.
Yo. What's up?
GG Top Tier, I am extremely sorry for all the things that happened to you.
That was a horrible run.
It was painful to watch, but you know, we all know what happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially in a race with no resets. Like typically when one thing goes wrong, everything's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
But GG for powering through that. And I was at one point I got worried that you were gonna forfeit, but
no.
So you know, talk to us. Tell us you know, what was going on. You know, what were you thinking when you got Novi'd in 4-2?
Well, when I got Novi's in 4-2, I was like, well, this is exactly what I was expecting. Like, of course. But I was really, like, I didn't really care at that point. Because, like, as soon as I got hit by Lago, I'm like, oh, I lost. Okay. Like, it's fine. No stress now. Like, it's over. Because I figured Trichael's going to beat my PB in the run anyways. What was your end time, Trich?
I think 1:31:33 or something.
Yeah, that's better than my PB. So...
Well, you know, after the Del Lago thing, for a while, you know, really for a while through chapter 2 and 3, you were making up a little bit of time on Trike. He had a couple of things that kind of slowed him down a little bit, and then you were able to play well enough to make up a little time.
Yeah, I felt like I was catching up, and then Novi's 2 happened, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
I would have fight it.
Yeah, unfortunately, after Novi's 2, Trichael played like a madman. I think he was trying to PB at that point. So, you know, it didn't do you any favors that he was playing as well as he was. But like I was telling him, for him at least, you know, a 131 in a race is extremely good.
That's really good.
And then, unfortunately for you, you just had a lot of mishaps.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's fun though. GG.
Yeah, we haven't raced in a while actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm trying, like, we're both on the grind.
Mm-hmm. Also, me and Trike had played this category in a couple days.
Yeah, he was saying how you guys were playing no merchant.
Yeah.
And then new game is one of those things where, like, if you're gonna play well, especially in a race against, you know, someone else who's good at it, it's got to be something that you're not, like, you don't have a few days rust on you, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, overall, you know, it was still a fun race to watch, even, you know, after, you know, all the stuff happened to you. So
yeah, tried to make it entertaining.
Yeah, I had noticed that you were getting your frustrations out there at the end.
I died right at the end of 5-4 because Mike shot the wrong side. That was so
fun.
Fun.
Yeah, you jumped down and the guy maced you. That was pretty unfortunate. I think that's when I thought you were just gonna forfeit, but then you just had fun with the rest of 5-4. So
yeah, I was like, whatever.
Not
gonna lie, I was hoping for 5-4 crash. But...
And then you gave Mike a present down at the.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice.
Thank you for shooting the wrong side.
Thanks, guy. You're such a homie. Okay, well, let's see. We are gonna wrap it up here in just a minute on Speed Gaming 2. On Speed Gaming, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is going on right now. On Speed Gaming 5, Super Metroid, any percent. Speed Gaming 3, Luigi's Mansion, and Speed Gaming 4, Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer. So feel free to stop over at any of those Speed Gaming channels and definitely give those channels a follow. As for us here with the RE4 tournament, we have one other race left in the Final Four. It is going to be Mike Wave, who is taking the place of King Muda. Unfortunately, King Muda had to drop. He is out of the country. So unfortunately, Muda had to drop. Mike Wave is taking his place. So Mike Wave is going to be racing Cuba. That race is not scheduled yet, but as soon as we get it scheduled, we will post it up on the schedule. So and hopefully we'll be able to knock that out here in the next few days when Mike and Cuba get together. After that, we're going to have a third place match. So top tier will be racing the loser of Mike and Cuba for the bronze medal, and then we'll have our finals, which at this point will be TrichaelMan versus the winner of Cuba and Mike Wave. So both of you guys will be racing at least one guy from the next race. So
should be a fun one to watch.
So when we get those scheduled, we would definitely let everyone know. But I guess we'll wrap it up here. You guys have any final words?
Just thanks to Speed Gaming. Good race, Trich.
Yeah. Thanks to JC for hosting. Thanks for the race.
Yeah, no problem, guys. It was fun. So I am JC. Make sure you give these runners a follow and follow the Speed Gaming channels. It's been fun. I will see you guys later.
All right. Peace out.